Hello folks, and welcome back to another Captain's Academy episode. This one's going to be rather short, as the mechanic I'm going to explain is rather simple to explain. So today what I'm going to be talking about is the overmatch mechanics, or more simply, why the Yamato is that much more awesome than the Montana. So first things first, remember this magic number, 14.3. That is the overmatch ratio, and it's going to explain a lot in terms of the Yamato versus Montana confrontation. So first things first, that's the ratio you got to remember. Second, you got to look at the amount of bow armor that the Montana and the Yamato has, and both of them have 32 millimeters. You can check this by going under survivability and hovering your mouse over the armor values. You'll see a forward and aft armor value, and it'll show 32 for both the Yamato and the Montana. So knowing these two numbers, here's what happens when you shoot at this really sharply angled section of the bow armor. So first things first, we're going to look at the Montana firing against the Yamato first, and then we're going to look at the Yamato firing back at the Montana, and the difference should be massively obvious, and it also explains why in battle the Montana really struggles against the Yamato, while it's not true the other way around. So first up, the Montana against that Yamato I talked about earlier, and I'm going to fire at the sort of angled section from, really sort of the bow all the way to around the midsection. And what's going to happen is you're going to watch shots just sort of either disappear or bounce, and you don't really see the bounce, but they're just not going to do anything, basically. And I can sit here and I can just fire at various sections all the way around, and nothing will happen. And that's the struggle that Montanas will have against Yamatos, is they can keep firing, even really close. I mean, 2.9 kilometers, and they keep firing at this section, and nothing's going to happen. And it doesn't really matter where you hit along this section. It doesn't do damage at all. And this is one of the reasons why I keep saying that if you're in a Montana and you run up against an angled Yamato, you might as well just fire high explosive, which kind of ignores armor altogether, and you might actually do more consistent damage because armor piercing really doesn't do anything at all. This is also true, by the way, if you're in a cruiser as well. If you have a cruiser and you see the angled bow area, sometimes you just won't do anything either. So there you go. Montana on Yamato, nothing happens even up close. On the flip side, however, when the Yamato starts to fire against a Montana in the exact same position, the Montana gets royally screwed. And you'll see this in a second as I fire my guns here, and 30k damage. Citadel, penetrations, all the 9 yards. And so if you were in the Yamato, you really don't worry. In fact, Yamatos don't even worry about fighting other Yamatos because of this magic overmatch mechanic. Because the Yamato can pen itself, because its guns are just big enough, I guess. But yeah, I mean, with other ships this works too. So if you took, like, let's say a Zhao and you tried it with a Des Moines, you'll also see that when you're firing against a very nicely angled bow section of the Zhao, you won't really be doing all that much damage. And so while going back to this, the Montana struggles incredibly hard against the Yamato has absolutely no problems deleting Montanas. And this is why oftentimes I say up close, what you're really hoping for is the Yamato missing, and then maybe you'll get a chance to ram. Because if the Yamato doesn't miss, you could be taking 40k damage in no time at all. So anyways, 32 millimeters of bow armor times the magic 14.3, and you get 457.6. Yamato has 460 millimeter guns, which means easy penetrations against both the Yamato and Montana. The Montana, which only has 406 millimeter guns, struggles to penetrate both the Yamato, and it struggles to penetrate the Montana. And that's it, folks, for this simple explanation on the overmatch mechanic that exists in World of Warships. If you've got any questions about it, do make sure you leave a question in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer it to the best of my abilities. Aside from that, take care, have a good one, and I'll talk to you all again soon.